Hi, I'm Dave from Sailing Laguna. We've taken a year off work to sail the Caribbean, and hopefully, by the end, I've figured out whether it's Caribbean or Caribbean. In our last video, I outlined the thorny path, the course that one would take from the Bahamas against the trade winds down to countries like Antigua and Barbuda. Anyway, if you're interested, go back and check it out, after you've watched this one, of course. Well, here we are in Ocean World at Puerto Plata, Dominican Republic. It's a common landing point for people coming from the Bahamas. Now, although I tried my best to put them off, Katie and Craig from Supernova did an awesome job of docking their boat, as well, of course, as Randy and Nick from 11 Delta Kilo. If you are able to choose a berth in Ocean World here, I'd suggest getting a berth at the back, because they suffer a little bit less from the surge. But let's get onto it. Here it is, the best activity you'll ever do. Take the main road from Puerto Plata out to a place called 27 Waterfalls. Look for the big sign that's actually on the other side of the road from where the turnoff is. You'll be suited up with a helmet and life jackets, and you'll have a guide that's going to show you the way up the mountain. It is a bit of a walk, so make sure you have a good drink of water before you start on the journey.
How many margaritas last night?
Yeah, one too many.
Now, in terms of the mode of transport of actually getting to the Saltos de la Domuja, anyway, the 27 waterfalls, don't take a random guided tour bus with other people you don't know. You don't want to feel rushed on this activity. You want to be able to stay as long as you want and really absorb this amazing, the amazing things you'll see.
Is this great, Campbell?
Yeah. Glad you came? Yeah. Yay.
Another tip would be to call 27 Waterfalls as soon as you're in the Dominican Republic so that you can coincide your visit for a day that they are actually doing all 27 waterfalls. I've heard that sometimes they only run 7 or 12 waterfall tours on certain days.
Are we ready, team? Whoa!
Now, this is one of those examples that I was really impressed with the kids, and Samantha for that matter as well. These jumps felt much higher than they probably look on camera, and I thought there was no way that the kids or even Sam would do it if it wasn't for the guide saying, yeah, stand here and jump off the edge, and really reassuring us that it was a common thing to do.
Whoa! What do you reckon, Cooper? Cool. Pretty cool, isn't it?
We felt a little bold when we climbed back up some of the bypass or the chicken stairs that were next to some of the jumps, and we had another jump off some of them. But after talking to some other cruisers, apparently this is actually quite common. And in fact, we probably could have had a few more jumps at each of the waterfalls before actually feeling guilty. Now, of course, you can absolve your feeling of guilt by tipping the guide appropriately, because their wage is not included in the price of the ticket.
Fat Cooper as well! Wowee!
Oh, right, look at that. We've done cross. I want to do that again.
Wow! Look at Mummy's splash!
You! Mummy!
Here we go! Whoa! That was awesome! Whoa! Cooper!
You'll probably get the feeling here that there's a bit of excess footage. This is the best activity that we've ever done, so it's probably going to be the family movie that we'll rewatch many, many times. Anyway, as you can tell, I highly recommend this adventure. Now, coming from Campbell, who complains about everything, he says this is the best thing that he has ever done. One of the packages you can do is to actually do zip lining and then do a waterfall tour, which I didn't really know so much about beforehand, but I think it would really be worth doing. The next highlight of Puerto Plata was the cable car. We were convinced to get a guide, and I'm sort of glad that we did, because for $20 US, he added a lot of value to our experience up the mountain and in the Botanic Gardens. The cable car rises to the summit, past the baseball field, past the bushland, past the little slippage there that you can see from recent rainfalls, which was a bit interesting, to some amazing views over the amber coast of the Dominican Republic. And on a side note, actually, about the Amber Museum, which was the inspiration behind the famous Jurassic Park scene with the mosquito trapped in the amber, it was closed, which was a bit of a bummer. Anyway, now back to the guide. He did push us on to one of his friends who got us to stand in a bunch of funny poses in front of the Jesus statue on the mountain. All the photographer asked was to come and have a look at his souvenir stand, and he did introduce us to the trick pano shot, where he would start doing the pano with us at one edge of it, and then ask us to run around behind, and we would then, of course, end up at the other side of the pano shot. It's a really sheltered life I've obviously led, because I've never known about this before. Anyway, the guide showed us around the Botanic Gardens and took us to places such as the little cave and the pond. He taught us about the processing of coffee in the old days and was pointing out a lot, of course, of the local fauna and explaining a lot of things. So, yeah, it really was worth having the guide there, I believe, as well. And as I said, for $20, he made sure that we saw everything that the Botanic Gardens and the Lookout has to offer.
Wood for fire, rice, chicken, and spaghetti. These are Dominican food. This one they use the fresh for the water, for drink like that one. They make with the air. And this very, very old.
Why? What kind of thing going so fast? Is that the fast that we usually go?
What's that, Cooper?
Is that the speed that we usually go down?
I don't know.
There?
I've never been on it before.
Yes, you have.
I've never been down on it before. We explored the hectic Puerto Plata, picking up some SIM cards, touring Umbrella Street, and visiting the pink lane, and there's also a white lane there that I don't seem to have any photos of. But the only thing left to do now was to say goodbye to some of the people we have been travelling with. We would be following 2 other boats and heading over to Samana so that we weren't stuck in Puerto Plata for a week of bad weather. The goodbye called, of course, for a few happy hour drinks on 11 Delta Kilo, where we told everyone about the trick pano shot, and of course we had to have a go at making some of our own trick pano shots, which was a little bit of entertainment for the crowd.
Oh my god. Andrew, get in it! Mario! I don't know if I got it! Oh my god, you guys, that's
We then headed off past the Ocean World Amusement Park, which is really expensive to get into, so we didn't go in there. But like anything in life, it's friendships that make all the difference in your experience of something. It was so nice to meet up with a great bunch of people, and so sad that we would be splitting up at this point. Although we had good intentions of meeting up at the next port, it never actually happened. And I'll always cherish and remember this great night in Puerto Plata with good friends, good food, and good times. The only other person in the restaurant was a gentleman celebrating his 94th birthday. Randy and Nick were so nice they actually paid for him and his family's dinner, and I hope they enjoyed themselves with the extra attention they received that night. Happy birthday to you! As the night progressed, we all got a little bit loose, and it was certainly a great time that we'll cherish forever. So thanks Randy and Nick, thanks to the whole crew.